Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be doing another garden update in the Kratky system, so let's get started. Alright, so we've got some new additions and some things we've actually taken out, not due to them not working, but because we've already harvested. We'll start down here. So this is actually the bottom side of the wheatgrass. You can see these roots are just covering that soil, so that's the bottom. I'm just letting it kind of brown a little bit before I try to chop it up and throw it in the compost pile. Let's move on to these guys down here. We went ahead and transplanted all the basil, so what's in here right now is just thyme and rosemary, I believe. The sage, I think, is going to take another few days. I need to go ahead and change the paper towel that's starting to accumulate a lot faster, so we'll figure out what we need to do with that. But again, we still have 4 more plugs to fill, and we may just end up using some stuff from my new seed collection, so we will see what happens with that. As you've probably noticed, we have our big tub right here, again full of basil plants. So we got 4 in here right now. I think that after they get big enough, we'll obviously move them up here, and then ideally we should have enough basil. I'll just rotate which one I take from. We should have enough basil for anything we could possibly need, including pesto and anything that needs quite a bit of basil. So might make a sauce or something like that. This is actually going to be another basil plant. This is for one of my friends. It's kind of stopped growing in the paper towel. I wanted to get a little bit bigger because these are all from the paper towel as well, but they were planted a little bit earlier. This guy didn't show signs of growth past probably 5 or 6 days. So I went ahead and transplanted him pretty carefully into this guy, and we will see exactly how it does. I just want to get it under the lights for a little bit, just to get a little bit bigger before I put it in the sun. Just I don't want to shock it too much. All right, so this again is that wheatgrass experiment that I was talking about. I'm going to I'm going to see how long this goes. It's probably about 6 to 8 inches tall right now. Probably 8 with 8 from down here. Maybe closer to 9 from down there. But you can just see this root mass is going crazy. We got some that got stuck down. I put a little bit too much, but I honestly thought I didn't put enough when I initially was doing it, so now I know. But we'll see how tall these get, how brown, how woody the stalks end up getting. But super excited about that. Not really something I was expecting to do with the wheatgrass, but if I can get some wheat from it, that would be kind of cool. So I don't expect to, but just try to temper expectations that way. If it doesn't do anything, then there's no harm. So we got our lavender. This will probably be the last week for the lavender. I'm going to go ahead and snip all these bigger buds. I might try to leave the actual, just the main chunk of it at the bottom, just to see if it kind of regrows, because it did last time I took quite a bit off. But it feels like it's at its prime of smelling good. Still hasn't flowered yet, but feels like it's probably working towards that within the next, I don't know, probably 2 weeks or so. Let's move up to the top. We went ahead and harvested quite a bit of basil, so there's not nearly as much, but you can still see there's great growth on it. I need to try to string it up a little bit because it looks kind of sad. All right, let's move on to the Carolina Reaper. We got some nodes over here. Or at least soon to be nodes, I should say. It's got some great growth going right there, as well as 3 stalks actually. No buds yet, but that's not to say they are not shortly behind. If you look at the size between the Carolina Reaper and the Anaheim, they're only about 5 or 6 inches off of each other, and this is about when the Anaheim starting to actually put off flowers and stuff like that. So ideally it'll be pretty soon. I mean, if not, it's still going to keep growing into a larger plant, and we'll just lower this guy even more if we need to, because this is probably the prized possession right now on this rack, and I don't really want it to be hindered by height. I just kind of want to let it go as much as it can, because that just means more production. Let's move on to the Anaheim. You can see our little cluster of peppers up here. We got, let's see, a little bit hard to see, but we got 3 peppers right here. They're all about 3 to 4 inches long. It'll probably be about another week or so. If I see a decline in growth, if I see that it's not growing on a daily basis, I'll probably go ahead and clip it just to try to get a few more flowers to bloom. But I think this is probably pretty close to the size that I clipped off my last one. Maybe it's closer to 5 inches, but we're not far off. Those will be harvested pretty soon. I think what I'm going to try to do too is the same way we do tomatoes and peppers. I think I'm going to try to snip right here and then leave it in a dark place for probably about 2 weeks, and then feed it some nutrients, feed it some water, and see if it'll bush out again. I've seen one person take photos of that happening, but again, it's not really clear whether or not it was the same plant, so there was no talking in the video either, so it was kind of hard for me to glean what was going on. But I'm hoping that that's the case. If not, I mean, I was going to throw it away anyways or compost the rest of the foliage. But let's move on to the jalapeno. You can probably already see we got 1, 2, 3. Now if we move around here, we got the 4th one. So he's really starting to put out flowers and produce now. I think that a lot of the flowers are still falling off because there's just not enough nutrients for it. So once these guys get probably 2 to 3 inches long, I'll go ahead and harvest. Probably closer to 2 inches, honestly, just because as with the Anaheims, I don't expect to get full-size peppers out of this plant as well. But we'll see what happens. Great growth so far. He's looking pretty good. He's probably about 2 feet wide and about 18 inches tall. So loving the growth so far. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the last video, the one I released yesterday on Tuesday. That was the seed haul view. If you haven't seen that, go look in the description. I'll have that link for that as well. Super excited. Again, shout out to Wild Edible. She gave me these Guatemalan heirloom squash seeds, and they are awesome. I believe they're blue Guatemalan banana squash seeds that are heirloom varieties. So got 5 of them in the ground, 5 of them germinated, and so we'll see what happens. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. If you have subscribed and you're not getting notifications for my videos, just go ahead and hit that bell. That way every time I release a video, you'll get a notification. Again, thank you guys for the new subscribers. I really appreciate it. And as always, have a great day. I'll see you guys next time.